What's up, HVAC fam? Back again, bringing you another episode of In the Trenches. Only this time, we're going to do it a little bit different. We're heading to Salado, Texas, and drop in on the team and the company, Zebra Instruments. If you don't know, you about to know. Let's freaking go.
Hi, I'm Mike Splon with Zebra Instruments. I'm the vice president here. Been here for 6 years and run all the operations in the warehouses to shipping to HR and shows and you name it.
Well, Mike, thanks for having us out. Obviously, we have a wall of stuff here, different products. Why don't you give us a run through of the different gambit of stuff that you got?
Sure, here's a sample of our products. They've grown over the years, but we offer fuses. We have a good niche in the market for that. Fuse holders. Recently we've added our Zebra connectors, which are lever connectors, but you can also use a voltmeter on them.
Yeah, I actually like these. A lot of the LED can lights are coming with these. Super fast, faster than wire nuts.
Yes.
Secure connection.
And as wire nuts break the wires as you're screwing them on and off. And then we have our gator line from our small, medium to large. Our Zebra adapters, that's a real popular for safety. It's got a fuse built into it.
AKA Widowmakers.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
The industry doesn't like to call them that, but yeah.
And we have our line of motor protectors here that we've been growing over the years now. It's been over 10 years since those were first developed and been selling them. Most recently for mini splits, I have a protector for those now, which is definitely a hot item in the market. And then this lower half here is a representation of our diagnostic tools to help the technicians. What we refer to as a universal Zebra. And here's a sample of some of the adapters that go to it to connect this to multiple motors. Our Zebra Stat down here, which acts as a thermostat, low voltage, and does a couple of other things. We've got our variable speed Zebra here. That's our top of the line product that connects between the control board and the motor, and you can observe or control signals back and forth. It can do CFMs, RFMs, things like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then one of our newest products is our UZ Plus. So you get the universal Zebra, you get all the adapters with it and an extension cord, and then this larger case to carry it all in. But we have a few other things, but this is a great sample of what we typically carry and you can find in stores.
So my name is Mandy and I've been here almost 5 years. August will be 5 years. And I do shipping, receiving, and I also work in the office receiving in orders.
My name is Sandy. I've been at Zebra for 6.5 years. I build protectors and boss people around.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I've been here at Zebra for 5 years and I make all of our diagnostic tools.
My name's Bob Leake, and I founded Zebra Instruments about 15, 20 years ago. I was a tech for about 20, 25 years before that, and I enjoyed doing that for a lot of my life, but I also enjoyed being able to work in an office building that was a little cooler than most of the attics that I worked into. I had 2 techs working with me and 1 person in the office, a small company. And I was always a better diagnostician electrically than the techs that worked with me. And so way back then, cell phones were the best way to contact each other, and they were 71 cents a minute. And so I would get a call from Rick or Dan, and they would say, well, Bob, I've got 24 volts on this line and 110 on this line, and we would go through a 3 or 4 minute process, and I would say, well, check this here and look at this contactor, and fine and dandy, and it was 71 cents a minute for me and 71 cents a minute for them, and pretty soon I came up with a little gadget, a box with a half a dozen lights, a half a dozen switches, and 8 wires, and it helped not make a bunch of those phone calls. And that gadget was what became the ZebraStat. But one of those guys took it down to, can I name a company?
Sure.
Took it down to Larry at Insco, and Larry saw it and said, Bob, I could sell those things. And so that weekend I made a few of those boxes for him, and he did sell them. He called me and said, can you make some more? And I did, and this went on for a few weeks until he asked me if he could introduce that product to some of the other stores in the chain. And 31 stores later, and next thing you know, we were shutting down the service business, finding jobs for the techs, and Zebra was born.
Wow. So what did you do? What's your background before HVAC?
I like to fix things. I spent
a tinkerer then.
A tinkerer, yeah. I spent a real short time in the Air Force, found out that Air Force and I didn't get along very well. But that was all right. But after that, I always enjoyed fixing things. Fixed motorhomes for probably 5 or 10 years. Appliances for a while. Air conditioning was a natural segue.
And then jumping into HVAC, and then jumping into inventing things.
Yep. The inventing things was basically to save some money on the cell phone bill. That's where that came from.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, it was.
So fast forward to where we are today. You obviously have a ton of products available. Some of them compete with other things that are on the market. Some of these were here before anything else was on the market. You feel like you kind of created a vacuum in the market where people are looking at your products and then deciding to kind of come out with their own version of that?
Well, I've seen a couple of people has come out with their own version of the ZebraStat. And at first I was kind of, disappointed that somebody copied my stuff. And then I thought, when somebody sees something and they want to improve on it, that meant that maybe I didn't do something well enough. And I'm okay with that. And maybe I'll come out with something a little better on mine that'll improve on it. So we'll see where that goes. That's their way of saying, Bob, you could have done better. And that's all right.
Well, it's very humble of you to...
Well, I mean, it's humbling to see somebody steal some of your sales too, but in reality, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody saying, you can do better next time, Bob.
Well, you guys also have surge protection for motors, correct?
We do. And we started out with those about, 10 years ago, Mike? And what if I made a little gadget that just plugged into the motor and you plug the wiring harnesses into there and it had a protector in it? He says, well, that would work. And so we played around with it for a few hours. And that was born the variable VZ Pro. And we've had great success with it ever since. X13 motors came out shortly after that. We made one for X13 motors, and then you know the story. There's 5 or 6 other motors that are out there. And we tried to make protectors for all of those. A couple of weeks ago, we found out that RSES has come out with things that look almost exactly like our protectors, and that's okay. They have asked for a couple of times. They wanted to. They've made offers for our company through our reps, and we've always said no. We kind of want to keep our stuff local, and our employees, would they still be able to work here? And they said no, it'd be transferred to Houston.
Well, when you say local too, we're actually local. Like we're in Salado, Texas.
Absolutely, right.
And Salado, Texas is about 15, 20 minutes from where I live.
Okay.
So this was super convenient for me to come down here. But yeah, I mean, Texas is a very proud state.
Absolutely.
So,
well, and of course they're down in Houston, but I didn't want to lose what I'd worked so hard to make happen either. But anyway, so they're competing with us now, and they've made what they feel are improvements. So I think we'll kind of up the ante too. We'll make some improvements back.
I think the biggest form of flattery is somebody entering your space and trying to take your design and do something different with it, right? But when you originate a design or originate a thing, and then people come in and say, we want to copy this or do something different with it, it's very flattering. I mean, you could look at it in a couple different ways, right? But at the end,
that's one of the ways, yeah.
At the end of the day, it is a flattering thing, right?
Well, if they ever come out with stripes, we'll probably have another feeling about that.
Yeah, I understand. That's awesome. Well, what's the future hold for Zebra? What are you guys planning on doing?
Well, an angle I'd like to think that we would like to try in the future is educational tools, something to help the new techs get on board quicker, learn faster. We have a couple of things in the closet that are waiting to come out soon. One I discussed with you earlier, and I think, you know, when you come out with commercial stuff, it's great, but we're finding there's a lot of vacuum in the field for new techs to come in, and I'd like to make it easier for them to learn, to get up on board as quickly as they can. So if we can come out with ideas that'll teach them, and my initial idea is a product line called Zebra Teaches. That sounds corny, but if it works, it works.
So we get into education, helping younger techs who are entering the trade throttle into the trade faster. That's ideal. I think a lot of guys who go through the schooling process in this business come out with book smarts, but not real world hands-on smarts, right? And those are two completely different things. So that's awesome. Kudos to you for that. So, you know, you've been in this business for a long time. You've been inventing all of these little products for a long time. What's in your future beyond Zebra? What are you planning on doing? You planning on retiring?
Well, I am sort of retired. Mike is doing a great job of running the company in my absence. He's doing things that I could never have done and making it run smoothly. My wife and I are enjoying traveling probably half of the time. We have a motorhome and we explore the country. That's probably the most fun thing that I'd like to continue doing, just taking off for 2 months at a time, 3 times a year.
Well, that's the game plan for everybody, right?
For sure.
So that's the end game. So if you could leave the audience with a bit of advice or a bit of wisdom, just from what you've encountered in the trade, what you've encountered through the Zebra line, what would that be?
You know, something that was instrumental to me in getting started and making a big jump in HVAC was, and I hope it's still going, Larry Brewer in INSCO was big on RSES. And is it still going? Do you still hear about it?
It's still there. Yeah, my dad is actually involved in RSES.
Super.
Yeah.
It is a great way for techs of all skill levels to get involved and to learn and to be comrades. You know, at first, when I saw a tech somewhere, my idea of the competition was, oh, that's my competition. You know, I hate him, right? Okay, but when you sit around a table with a dozen other guys and you all learn things together, you learn those are your buddies, and your idea of who they are. And when you learn together, I mean, you end up making friends. And just like I'm sitting across from you now, it's a great way to feel completely different about the industry. Plus, you advance what you know how to do. So I'd say get involved in a group like RSES. It costs very little. You get certifications, and it's a great way to spend a week, an evening every week or two.
Yeah, the camaraderie that you can build is pretty incredible. And that's one of the things that we've done with the Tactical brand in the award show, being able to build a community, right, around this whole thing and have people rally together. We all share the same passion for what it is that we're doing, and we're all learning new things from each other, right? You do it this way. No, I do it this way, and this is why.
I never knew that was possible to share all that. So.
Exactly. And so it's been awesome. So social media has changed the game for sure, right? The older version of what we have today called social media is the RSES, right? Yeah. And and a lot of the people who are in that are older generation for sure. They're lacking that newer blood in the program for sure. But if you thought NATE certification was hard, RSES certification is really hard. So it's a different ball game for sure. So yeah, I'm a huge proponent of that. I recommend people look into that and get involved. So that's awesome. I appreciate that. So. Well, thanks for taking time, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for doing what you do. It's really
you.
Nice to know that there's people out there that care so much about the industry.
Yeah, if people don't know who Zebra is, you're about to know. And you guys have been around for a long time, but there's still massive room for growth, and hopefully we can help throttle that for you. So
thanks.
Yeah, it's great meeting you.
For sure. See you later.
Well, that's a snapshot of Zebra Instruments and this is how we do things here. For our full lineup, please go to zebrainstruments.com, and you're welcome to hang around, but I'm out of here.